through the winter months. It'd be quite nice.
Just when it was under threat as well.
Yeah.
You know, kind of going into the summer, it said loads of people were saying, well, summer jump racing just hasn't got a place anymore. And after the low field sizes, small field sizes last year, and at the start of the season, it felt it was going to be that way again. And like I said, the field sizes have really held up. Disappointing Newton Abbott lost so many meetings. They needed one of those most recent ones just to try and turn over a profit from this summer, I believe. But yes, disappointing for them on that part. But I know that's held up well in itself. So like I say, please, it can continue hopefully over the winter because we need good field sizes.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. We always get asked as commentators, what do you prefer commentating on, flat or jumps? And, a lot of people say, I bet the flat is easier. You've got more to look at over jumps. Well, it can actually be quite difficult over jumps if you've got, just three runners to talk about over a 7-minute long 3.25 mile chase.
Yeah. I remember asking you that before. I think it was, what would you prefer? Would you prefer a 2-runner 3-mile handicap chase, or would you prefer the Stewards Cup, or the Ayr Gold Cup? What would you prefer?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's a bit more to talk about at Ayr, isn't there? So that's the thing. So let's hope we have some competitive racing and hopefully the spring festivals really live up to their billing, in particular the one in March. But anyway, let's turn our attentions to Kempton. Ken will be joining us shortly as well. And Nightbird is the 2-1 favourite here, with Fort Augustus at 9-4, Hucklesbrook at 11-2, Panenka at 10-1, 11-1 Hofburg, and 18-1 Barthos. Just before, Ken, we touch on the this race, that previous winner, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, pulled away in really good style. Gareth couldn't really fault the way he did it. I mean, the more he asked, the more he delivered. So yeah, good effort. Yeah, interesting to see what he ends up being. Probably a handicapper, I'll say, for next year. Probably a high-end handicapper, I suspect. Yeah.
I think that's probably fair. Here we've got Nightbird in as the 2-1 favourite, but she's just starting to sort of look a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, I think she's a bit short as well, Gareth, really. I mean, she looks all right. Nothing really stands out. She looks all right, but I think 2-1 is a little bit too short because it's quite a competitive nursery.
Yeah, Fort Augustus being back, 9-4 in from 130.
I can see why. He looks all right. Just a yard, Gareth. They've had for Charlie Hills, they've had a terrible season. I mean, less than 30 winners all year. So yeah, it looks okay, but not great for me.
Okay, Hucklesbrook, 11-2.
Yeah, stocky type, looked fit, looked all right.
Panenka 9-1.
That's the one I'm going to go for, Gareth, each way. I thought he looked well from Charlie Cox, from Cox's yard. Drawn in for decent draw. Yeah, each way for me, that'll be the one for me.
Okay, Panenka at 9-1. Kate, anything to ask Ken? Who did you like here?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm in so much agreement with Ken over Nightbird. I thought this was a good opportunity. It is just that price perspective, isn't it? That you would just want that bit likely to try and make all here, but is a much bigger price and caused an upset that day at 22-1. So he's going to try and pull out something similar here. But I just thought with Nightbird that it was interesting they continued to keep her to novice races when she had that, initially an opening mark of 76, came down to 75 from last time then. But again, she was still running in novices. I just think for her, it's a step up in trip that's going to suit her, where at Beverley last time over the 5, she ran into trouble and she just ran into trouble because she looked a little bit tap for toe at a key point. So I thought the step up to 6 furlongs would actually suit her. Mark of 75, the upper limit of this race, but the first time cheap pieces as well would be everything to come together for her. It is just that price is not ideal, but I'll stick with her all the same. I thought Hucklesbrook was probably the biggest danger, that second last time out. And another one that's actually stepping back up to the same trip as debut for the 6 furlongs, Hucklesbrook, also stepping back up in trip and getting the hood added. So we've got different pieces of equipment being added to these. But yeah, I thought that was a solid effort from him last time out on his own handicap debut that he can build on. So he's the danger for me, but I'll stick with Nightbird and hopefully that frustration can end.
Okay, will today be the day then for Nightbird and Ken with Panenka each way as the final couple load up? Another 9-race card, Ken. Have you been going to many of these?
I've been to a few of them, Gareth, but yeah, it's been a pretty longish day for me. But yeah, it's been it's a long day as it is, but 9 races does add to it.
Yeah, it does. Are you staying till the death tonight?
Yeah, I will do. I'll try to, Gareth.
What a man.
I've been to the sales and everything, so yeah, it's been a long day.
Oh, wow, that's a long day.
Yeah.
Oh, surely Gareth let him go before the last. Surely, that was a plea.
We'll see.
Yeah, see what the results do. We're just about ready to go.
Thanks.
A bit up in the air in stall 3. They're off. Burning Hot didn't get away too badly in the end. Nightbird sharply into stride in the high clear light blue colours. Rogue Endeavour on the inside running rail. Going up to dispute the running is Hucklesbrook in the black and yellow half sleeves, followed by Skelly Gile, very handy round the outside. Shostakova in very dark jacket and the headgear. They're followed by Hofberg back in 6th place. Rogue Endeavour, Sweet Sonata, Panenka ridden along, and then Fort Augustus, and also ridden along at the back is Lovestruck Romeo. It's Nightbird by about a neck to Hucklesbrook in 2nd. Round the inside, Burning Hot, followed by Shostakova. Then Skelly Gile turning in about 5th or 6th. Rogue Endeavour on the inside. They are tracked by Fort Augustus. Hofberg beginning a run down the outside. They're followed by Sweet Sonata, Lovestruck Romeo and Panenka. Nightbird at the moment holding all comers. Hucklesbrook, though, is challenging hard, still about 3/4 of a length down. Now inching a bit closer, Hucklesbrook to Nightbird. They're clear of Fort Augustus back in 3rd, then Skelly Gile and Sweet Sonata, and Hucklesbrook strides into the lead under Jack Mitchell and races clear, and it's Hucklesbrook that goes on to score. Fort Augustus 2nd, Skelly Gile in 3rd, Sweet Sonata and Nightbird.
Yeah, you thought, Kate, that Hucklesbrook would be the main danger. If you could have stopped the race at the 2 marker, you probably would have. But yeah, Hucklesbrook in the end has quickened away to win well.
I know, it would have been ideal, wouldn't it? 2 furlongs out, Nightbird in front of them, a danger horse, Hucklesbrook in 2nd. But yeah, Nightbird, she's faded them back over the 6 furlongs in the closing stages. Again, the frustration continues for all that. It's probably a little bit of a lesser effort again then from her. Again, tricky one just to get right, isn't she? Perhaps she was softened up.
Yeah, that's for sure, Nick. Thanks. That's a good look at them in the parade ring. Arriving down at the start. And your favourite cast party, 7-4. It's in the drift a little bit. 3-1 requisite, being backed in from 7-2. Scarlet Princess 4s and 6-1 Dawn Sky. Electrifar, 15-2 from 10s. Red Walker, Cocoa Blue, 28s from 50s. So some of the prices being nibbled at, including Club Class, who's 33s from 40s, and it's 40-1 and bigger the rest. Martin, I felt that you weren't that keen on cast party from stall 13.
Yeah, again, I think this is another favourite I'd be happy to take on. I've no doubt she's got a future as a racehorse. I think she's pretty smart, she's bred to be nice, and she ran well at Newmarket when she finished 3rd. But I just thought she looked weak, and she's quite tall and leggy. I think she's going to be a better filly next year, and I think from this wide draw she could find, I think she's vulnerable. I think it might happen a bit quick for her. When she ran at Newmarket, it was a good race. She was 3rd to See the Sky, who had ran placed at Sandown in a decent race, but she was slowly away, given lots of time to work her way into the race, and she stayed on without really quickening. She finished 3rd and showed she's got a lot of potential, certainly over a further distance, but I just don't know whether I've seen enough, quicken enough to think, well, she'll win next time, certainly from a wide draw in 13, and she just physically looks quite weak, she's quite tall. I might be completely wrong, but I just... I thought it was a really nice run, and no doubt she's got a nice future, but I think it'll probably be next year.
Okay, the draw does not help Rachel, does it?
No, and I actually wrote down, will be better over further in time. That was the note takeaway from her. Drawn 1 to her in Sign and Requisite, cost a lot of money, first foal, finished 3rd on debut in soft ground at Sandown. I thought of these two, she looked to me that she'd improve more for the experience over this trip as opposed to up in Trip in Time, finished 3rd, staying on really well. Rafe Beckett's horses are very much improving from first start to second start, and I guess she'd be the one with the form in the book for me. As we're having a look at the favorite debutante, Scarlet Princess, just being a bit green going in. But stall one, I hate stall one for debutantes because you either have to hit it and go, or you are all of a sudden looking at the back, most of the field having been shuffled back. But out of Lady Marion, who won a Lopera about a decade and a half ago, related to 4 winners, included Loxley, etc., and is the mount of William Buick, so obviously is taking the money for those reasons.
Martin, money for Electrify.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see it when you watch the race back because she was so raw, big filly, and she's very raw at Newbury. She was 4 to 4, but they can surprise your horses. They can come on so much for that first run, and Ed Walker knows how to tune them up, so maybe she'll come on for that. A bit of money for Club Class. She's interesting. By Frankel, James Fanshawe knows the family well. He trained Speedy Boarding, the Dam, who was a multiple Group 1 winner. Remember Freddie Tillichy winning a few Group 1s on her in France. She's got a nice pedigree. James has normally come on for the race, but a little bit of money for her there. But I have to say, Requisite, when I watched her run at Sandown, she crossed the line, hands and heels ride, I thought she wins next time. And I tell you what, this Rafe Beckett fella is getting the hang of training.
Working it out, isn't he? Yeah. Requisite. Still 12 to overcome, though. Drawn next to the favourite, Cast Party, who will come out of stall number 13. There is Requisite, daughter of Wootton Bassett. She's about to go in, and then we'll just about be set for this 6:15 contest. Just one playing up, one of the Godolphin horses just playing up in the stalls. I think it was Dawn Sky in stall 4. We're ready. Here's Simon Holt.
3, lined up, and they're off. Africa Charm, notably slow, and Sandhill Dancer was also tardy from the stalls. They're quite well strung out in the early stages, with Requisite very handy, and on the outside, Cars Party in the black with the yellow cap. Connie Moon in orange, and driving up the rail is Follow Your Dream. Electrify is not too far away. They're rather keen in these early stages, followed by Scarlet Princess Blue with the white cap, and Cocoa Blue on the inside there. Follow Your Dream just wavering a little and running towards Requisite. Electrify third, then in fourth is Cars Party on the outside, Cocoa Blue with the white blaze. Behind these, Connie Moon is close up, and then on the inside, Sandhill Dancer from Club Class. Further back is Dawn Sky as they round the bottom turn and now race inside the final 4 furlongs. Well off the pace is Cars Party at the moment, then Hakawi as they race towards the bend, and Africa Charm is the back marker. On towards the turn in, and it's Follow Your Dream from Requisite on the outside, Electrify, and then in fourth, Cars Party in the black with the yellow cap. On the inside, Scarlet Princess, tracked through by Club Class, and then in the orange jacket, Connie Moon from Sandhill Dancer. Cocoa Blue under pressure, Dawn Sky picking up behind these. They race on into the closing stages, and Requisite is taken on by Cars Party and Electrify on the far side, taking a race of it. Cars Party near side, Electrify on the far side under Tom Marquand. They're battling on together, and Electrify is going to be too strong by the look of things. Electrify by half a length. Cars Party trying to come back at the leader, but it's Electrify that scores from Cars Party. Back in third, then Scarlet Princess from Connie Moon in fourth.
Well, that bit of experience has comes to the fore. The first 2 have got been prior race coming into the Electrify is who's won. It was 4th of 4 on debut at Newbury a few weeks ago. She was green that day, the only debutant in the field. She showed her inexperience, but perhaps that much more like it today for Electrify, who has won and beaten Cast Party, who, given another crack at this, might have won it, certainly in my mind anyway. 6 to 1 shot, Electrify wins it. Tom Marquand for Ed Walker. Cast Party for Oisin Murphy, had the horse in position A by this point, but perhaps not completely ideal from the start, certainly in my mind. The daughter of See the Stars has just been outgunned to the line. Can't say that there's been too many excuses from this point onwards. Best to the newcomers. Well, that was William Buick's selection. Godolphin fielded 2, Dawn Sky and Scarlet Princess. Scarlet Princess it is who's emerged best of them. And she's shaped really quite promisingly. Daughter of Kingman out of the Prix de l'Opera winner, Lady Marion. Hands and heels all the way to the line. I'm sure a few of these are just going to benefit from more of a test of stamina down the line, which doubtless further assignments on the track, Angus, will provide them.
Cast Party, who Martin thought was vulnerable, he was right, and vulnerable to that horse, Electrify, for Ed Walker, who's had a fantastic season. And Rachel, she has taken a big step forward from her debut. She was last of 4, but it wasn't a run completely devoid of promise, was it?
No, it wasn't. She showed eminent signs of greenness. You also remember that was a conditions race, not a maiden or novice. The front 2 had been previous winners. She showed a bit of tail flashing on debut. That wasn't here. She was a lot more straightforward. She jumped well. And then Follow Your Dream and Requisites came around the outside. Follow Your Dream just saw the inner track and just sort of got a little bit stary about that and sort of bumped into Requisite, but that happens sometimes, particularly with inexperienced horses sort of going, whoa, what is that? But Requisite was a bit disappointing from a Sandown run, but the winner just sat in the perfect seat, just in the back, and Tom Marquand had all the time in the world. And while Cast Party was sitting upside the eventual winner, Electrifar, I think it was turn of foot that Electrifar had versus the future stamina that Cast Party had, just won the day here.
Yeah, I think that's right. It didn't quite go to plan for Oisin Murphy.
little bit of a step up in grade, so which it is a little step up in grade, but I think it'll be up to it. The 7:45 is a horrible race. I don't really want to tip against my own horse in the 8:15, even though I don't think it's really got much chance tonight. And then obviously at the end of the race is we got this one, which is a tricky little puzzle.
Very slowly away. So as you say,
fully made my mind up off my shortlist yet. I wanted to hear what Ken got to say, because obviously Pursuit of Truth is in this race from a yard that he's got a very close connection with, the first time in a handicap. And I did make a note of him at Salisbury, thinking he had a fairly quiet ride off Richard Kingscott that day, and he looked like one that might benefit from, next time going into handicap company after he's had a break. Richard's riding Midnight Drive, though, that's got a big chance. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't think he could have been handicapped kinder, Pursuit of Truth, I think. But I did think he's one that could take a big leap forward here.
Okay, Midnight Drive then 7-2 favourite. Beauty Generation at 11-2. Pursuit of Truth is in it at 6-1. New Kings Road at 7-1 with Adela Bella. And Falcon 9-1 English Spirit, 14-1 and upwards. The other runners as they gather down at the start. Again, a 13-runner field here. I always think, John, as well, with this particular starting point, if you are drawn wide, it's not necessarily a complete nightmare, because you've got the full length of the back straight to run before you need to start making a turn.
Of course, yeah. The longer you've got, the better. And in the last race, it was probably a little bit easier. In this race, it just depends what you want to do. It might be more difficult to get a slot in if you want to really go forward, because there could be a fair bit of pace on here early. Yeah. The likes of Beauty Generation, One Step Beyond, even Adela Bella and English Spirit, another one that goes forward, but its best form's all at Wolverhampton, really. There's plenty of pace on, so it just might make it a little bit difficult for horses like Tactical and Control, New Kings Road, Mascool to try and get tucked in. Midnight Drive's a different kettle of fish, because that one is likely to be off the pace, and Richard Kingscott probably will just drop in behind, and hopefully that strong pace will develop and he can bring his horse into the race late. But if you want to be forward and you're wide in this race, it might be more tricky, because you do run the risk of being three wide all round the bend.
Okay, what did your shortlist, Ken, comprise of
at
here?
the moment, so it's got a real open look to it. We'll go back to Nick for a few final thoughts.
I was going to nap Midnight Drive today, because I thought the race might be run to suit.
They said
it was unlucky. I didn't really see how he was unlucky here last time, but I think the race will be run to suit. He looks well enough. He'll be my 10th selection, Gareth. I just think the race will be how he wants it. Strong pace, he can just sit off and come through. So, yeah, small stakes, Midnight Drive will be the one I like to hear, Gareth.
Enough claims of being more than a bit competitive as well. Green Power, I thought, could outrun the odds. Falcon 9, if missing the break in customary style, can just slip in anyway, so perhaps it wouldn't necessarily change the way that the race plays out. There's one of the lightly forward goers in the race. One Step Beyond. There's one here before, but that's a comment you could apply to loads of them. Falcon 9, who's still a maiden after a dozen starts, and Mbappe goes in. I'm stopping short of what Martin Dwyer said there when it comes to his chances. He's won here in the past, and actually he's 3 from 6 since joining Mark Loughnane. He's done really well. Third here last time behind the winning machine that is Tribal Chief. He's never won this far, Mbappe, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time before he does that. He's having a good year altogether. Beauty Generation, Holly Doyle looking for a double, and Beauty Generation, whose form here over a mile reads 2-2-3, so has been going very consistently since coming here. The unbeaten record at Kempton was lost last time for Midnight Drive, but has surely got a big chance of getting that back today. Right, let's get across to Simon for the 6:45.
Pursuit of Truth, going to be the last in for this Unibet Support Safe Gambling Handicap. The qualifier in the London Mile Series. And they're off. Not a bad break, a little slow Beauty Generation and Falcon 9. Midnight Drive is well away in the dark blue jacket from English Spirit. And pushing forward too is Adela Bella with Memora Bay on the inside. New Kings Road is a little wider out as they race down the back straight. Pursuit of Truth is just behind them. And then One Step Beyond in a yellow cap bobbing away is Mbappe with Green Power in a black cap. as they race through the first 2.5 furlongs or so. Towards the rear of the field, still Falcon 9, Tactical Control on the outside in the light blue sleeves, Maskell in black and red stars, Green Power is some way back, and Beauty Generation got a bit short of room on the inside. Midnight Drive then taking them along from English Spirit and New King's Road disputing second, then Adela Bella, and behind those Pursuit of Truth. Round the outside, Tactical Control, Yellow Sleeves and Mbappe, Memora Bay back on the inside from one step beyond, and then behind these Maskell trying to make ground. Green Power is some way off the pace still with Falcon 9 and Beauty Generation. Midnight Drive turning first with just under 3 furlongs to cover. Midnight Drive tracked through by New King's Road, under a bit of pressure now. English Spirit on the far side, Adela Bella going for a run on the far side as well. Then Pursuit of Truth, Mbappe is beginning to finish off quite well. Midnight Drive and New King's Road, and New King's Road is wearing down Midnight Drive. Mbappe and Pursuit of Truth are charging down the outside, but New King's Road with first run on those, and New King's Road by a couple of lengths or more. New King's Road goes on to score from in second, Pursuit of Truth. Mbappe back in third, Adela Bella in fourth.
And New King's Road it is, who's won in the Chelsea Thoroughbred colours for Richard Hannon and that man Joe Levy. Pat down the neck for our winner, and has won with more than a bit to spare in the end. Took the lead from Midnight Drive, who on this occasion was sent on. There was no traffic problems for her today, but a furlong out or so, you could tell that she was given, or she'd given her run. She's finished, I think, 5th in the end. New King's Road it is, who's won, who was drawn out in 12. Dual winner on the turf already this summer, and dropping back in trip at the end of the mile. Very strong to the line, New King's Road. It looked positive coming back in trip, and so it's proved. Sat on the heels of our leader and was in position A to capitalise once Midnight Drive had given best.
The horse having a great time.
Just others we should mention. Quick word for Asimov, comes here as a winner last time, Rachel.
Yeah, over the 6 furlongs. Both wins have been over 6. Only run over 7 once in his career. That was on heavy ground, was unplaced. Newcastle last time is a stiff 6, but it looks like in the 2 runs, a stiff 6 versus a flat 7 might just suit a little bit better. But those cheek pieces they added last time, James Fanchon team, very much seemed to rejuvenate him.
Yeah, I just mentioned the money for Robbo. He won last time he ran on an artificial surface. 3 runs on turf his last 3, shown absolutely nothing but back to an artificial surface. He has been supported at a price. Let's go to Nick then for a few final thoughts.
I will try and give a few final thoughts. Thank you, Angus. There's Aljari back to the winning mark of 85. I did say in the parade ring about Robbo, I just don't think we've seen the best of this horse whatsoever in recent times, and I'm still convinced there's a better animal than we've seen of late. But you quite rightly said he hasn't achieved anything in recent times. I'm sort of not surprised there's been a bit of money, given the chance of win, given that sort of residual promise that was there from 2. If you're forgiving, there's probably still some now. He could be one of the horses that gets on with it. So can D Flawless, who's got bundles of pace. Chalk Mountain has just been a winning machine, as mentioned. Southall, Wolverhampton here, just thriving since coming back to the all-weather. And if you take the time to look at the way that he races, and he's been winning, he's I guess he's arguably still a horse that could have something up the sleeve. I just found this tricky. Mezzo Soprano, £8 higher than last year, but looked well ahead of things when winning this very comfortably last year. And it was odds on last year, 9-4 this year. Hasn't won since, but has been not exactly highly tried in that time. D Flawless, a little bit edgy. Hopefully we're going to get her in, because she's part of the pace setup. And Chalk Mountain, our multiple recent winner, looking for the 4-timer, is going to be the last to load. Here's Simon.
All set for this Ted Palmer Memorial Handicap over 7 furlongs, and rearing on the outside was completed, but gets away all right. They're off over the 7. Robbo quite well away in the green and the black, and outside him is Upscale going across, with also Supreme King handy as they race down the back straight, and Mezzo Soprano is not far away as well, and it's Upscale from Mezzo Soprano, followed by Robbo. Then on the inside is Aljari. They are tracked by the grey Chalk Mountain, completed on the outside. Hat Toss in amongst them from Asimov round the inside. And then behind those, Supreme King and D Flawless together as they race at what looks to be a very steady pace this time. Tyke is pulling hard round the outside. Upscale leads the way, possibly just waiting in front a little bit here, Ashim Murphy, followed by Mezzo Soprano in second. Robbo is third. Chalk Mountain not far away on the outside in fourth, followed by Hat Toss. Then Aljari round the inside, making a little headway, completed behind these, and then Asimov and Supreme King, D Flawless and Tyke. Down the home run, the pace lifting. Upscale leads the way by about a length to Robbo. Mezzo Soprano now attacking on the near side. Upscale trying to quicken off the front. Mezzo Soprano with a determined run. Then Robbo from the back. Asimov in the black and orange jacket. Then Hat Toss and Chalk Mountain. Mezzo Soprano wearing down Upscale. Robbo on the far side. Mezzo Soprano from Robbo. Mezzo Soprano wins it again. From in second, Robbo. They were away from Hat Toss, who stayed on well. Asimov on the far side and Upscale, and then Supreme King.
Yeah, wins it again, and the champion jockey, who'd drawn a blank prior, is on the score sheet and has won with Mezzo Soprano, 12 months on from winning on this very horse last year, £8 higher this time around, and had been winless since. It was odds on last year, and even though fancied this year, a much juicier price. Has beaten Robbo, who was backed, and backed him from much bigger prices, with the idea that returning to Polytrack could yield that much more, and it has. And surely off the back of that, they're going to find more opportunities for Robbo, who was a closer tender of the pace at this stage, as was our winner. They're going to find more opportunities on this this surface. But this is much more like it from Mezzo Soprano now. She was really talented when winning this last year, looked very good indeed. I guess my idea was that for all that she'd run quite well here last time, you could have half argued she was a bit unlucky, having been hampered at the start. No such issues in position A, and has shown enough grittiness to go and win. Anyone who backed Robbo at bigger prices might have just wondered what might have been ever so slightly, but looked at one point, I thought he was going to go and win. But Mezzo Soprano under the Buick Drive had other ideas.
Again, he was odds on last year, the 4 to 5 favourite. It's better price today. He was favourite. Let's take it from the start. And that was a pretty even break, to be honest. I don't think they went mad early on, Martin, did they?
No, it didn't seem to be. They kind of, few of them were in each other's way as we look at pick it up here. You see William looking across to his right. He's found himself in second position, following Upscale, and he's happy to sit there. William Buick has almost controlled the pace from second place, if that makes sense. He's happy to let Upscale make the run-in, and he's happy to keep the rest parked up behind him and control it. And this filly, she was very unlucky here 2 weeks ago. She clearly likes the all-weather, won this last year, and she's probably going forward and progressing, isn't she? But William has just sat quietly, sat still, and a few of them with ground to make up probably struggle to do that because they quicken from the front end.
Yeah, he kept it pretty simple, didn't he, Rach?
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, even Hat Toss, who was the eventual third, is just sitting right in behind. The 3 pace horses were the ones that spearheaded it. Yeah. Upscale, again, a filly with all, I mean, pedigree-wise, owner
on the inside. Been a prolific winner, this 8-year-old, but last time out, 3 weeks ago.
Got his best chance since moving to Mark Pattinson. He's got decent form here at this track. When he was with Lee Carter, who, I don't know whether Mark Pattinson's moved into his old yard or whether he's moved to Lee and Marks. I don't know, because Lee appears to have packed in. And you're really scrambling for the form. Twilight Truth is in the same sort of bracket as Glastonbury at 3 runs for Henry Candy, who's had a moderate time of things, but had a wind operation before its last run. Showed a little bit, I guess, but that's all it was a little bit. And whether it's got enough ability to actually go and put a race to bed, I wouldn't know. True Blue Gent has had a couple of recent runs that have shown a little bit behind Black Lion at Wolverhampton, but the horse has run 12 times, threatened a couple of times at the back end of its 2-year-old's career to be okay, but has just not really gone on at all. I don't know what anybody could really back with confidence in this race. I mean, at least Bethel Dandy's won a race, but that was as a sprinter at Weatherby earlier in the summer. Tom Marquand's an interesting booking, going up in trip to 7 furlongs. As I say, at least it's a winner. It's more than some of these will ever be if they keep on running. So I'm at a loss to really go with anything. Havana Mojito's another one I had a good look at. That one's won at Brighton. John Gallagher, Derek Keenan team up. It's got some okay form in the context of this race, but when you look at it, it's finished last of 8, 4th of 6, last of 4 on its recent starts. Returning to the all-weather might be okay, but one of those races, Gareth, is very, very irrelevant. Would have been my selection this morning, but it's doing nothing but drift, which has got to be a concern because the Pattinson horses and Lee Carter before went with the same owners. They generally were well backed, and unless it's a case of money's down this morning and nobody else is backing it, which is a possibility. I don't like to see these colours drifting near the off. La Verite is in stall 1 and could lead, stepping up in trip. Interesting little trainer switch, I suppose, to Patrick Owens. Might well have made a bit of improvement on the horse, but it was very cheaply bought. So, you know, they'd be hopeful of a day, but if you don't get your day in a race like this, I don't know where you go after that.
Okay, Ken, we're struggling a little bit here. Was there anything the paddock told you?
If he can run the way he looks, Glastonbury looks differently to these, Gaff.
Right.
He's a really nice, attractive son of showcasing. He's not shown much. Hopefully he can tonight, but I thought he was the pick. Irrelevance looked okay. And Twilight Truth, again, lightly race. She looked fit, but her coat wasn't great. But the only horse that really did stand out was Glastonbury. He just looks a different league in terms of physicality, Gav. So I'll take a chance that he can show more than he has previously, but it'll be very tiny stakes if you're backing him, because as like John, I think it's a very open race.
Yeah, okay. Runners continuing to go behind. Are you sticking around for the last, Ken? What are you doing?
I'd like to miss it if I can, Gareth.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I wanted you to say hello to Charlie for me. Okay, never mind.
Oh, yeah. John.
Okay, you get off, get yourself to bed. I was starting to think you hadn't got a home to go to.
Yeah, well, I have. I'm dying to go. I've had a long day, long 2 days. Yeah. Well, thanks, John. Thanks, Gareth. And I'll speak soon.
Good stuff, Ken. All the best.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Ken leaves us for the night with, tentative pick here in Glastonbury. And John wasn't overly keen on anything in particular. It's a really open race, but a weak race. Let's see how they go in the company of Simon Holt.
To a pretty level one. Twilight so Truth was not too bad away for Cheveley Park, but now dropping back a little. On the outside going forward, reaching the moon, one of the greys, the other grey Havana Mojito nearest the fence. True Blue Gent in the light blue Midland Park colours is third, and then Irrelevant round the inside. Sneaky Girl is a bit keen in a yellow cap. Truth, and then back behind those is La Verite, and then Glastonbury round the inside. Havana Mojito from Fellow Grey reaching the moon, wide around then Irrelevant in third into this right right-hander, True Blue Gent, and then taking a real hold around the outside, hard to steer. In fact, is Aspire to Glory, and giving Anna Gibson a difficult time there around the bend. Fellow Grey Leverite just tracking them. Glastonbury sneaking up the face, though ridden a bit from Sneaky Girl, Twilight Truth, Battle Dandy. Havana Mojito, in fact, took it up. Glory challenging, reaching the moon. Here's True Blue Gent, Aspire to Glory tries to run on. Leverite and Glastonbury, Havana Mojito and True Blue Gent. These two in behind those. Leverite a little short of room out wide. Battle Dandy stays on strongly. True Blue Gent, Battle Dandy is getting there with every stride and will win. Battle Dandy from True Blue Gent in second place. Mike Clementine and Leverite fighting it out for third, ahead then of Havana Mojito.
Yeah, from the clouds, Battle Dandy has won and has given Tom Marquand a double on the day. That is a first success under the tutelage of Stuart Williams, and has beaten True Blue Gent, who looks for every moment in the closing stages a winner, until Battle Dandy had other ideas. Moving back up in trip to 7 for the first time in a while, a horse who'd got the pace to win a sprint at Wetherby earlier in the summer at 5.5 furlongs. Has seen everything all the way through to the line over 7 to win here, and give Stuart Williams a first success now with this horse, formerly with Richard Fahey. Covered up about 7 or 8 to get past at this stage, maybe even more. Whereas, in contrast, True Blue Gent was in absolutely the right position. Hasn't done much wrong whatsoever. It's confirmed that Leverite has finished in third. She is still a maiden, Leverite, but for 1,000, I think Pat Owens, the trainer and the owner, he can certainly dream that they're going to be picking up a race with this filly.
So, Battle Dandy's got up late for Stuart Williams. Tom Marquand at the double. And it's caught True Blue Gent, Martin's selection. I think he thought he was on a winner there for a stride or two, but has been run down in the closing stages by Battle Dandy. Rachel, I thought they went quite quick here early on.
Yeah, they did, but we always say the lower the grade, the quicker they tend to go. Havana Mojito, which sounds lovely right about now, went and made the running. He was one of the pace scenarios. A bit disappointed that Leverite, who I think just held on for third when may have been eased down. From stall 1, front runner, I'm surprised that they didn't send. You can see he's going to be quite keen when we get in the shot. Well, for a lot of them. I mean, I guess the one thing you can say is Dashing Harry is one of the few that's won recently, but this was the all-weather debut, and maybe Maybe they just had a bit of a cider for winters to come.
Yeah, he could go back to 5, I think, the way he travelled.
Well, that was an unnaturally quick run race, wasn't it? Over 6,
Yeah.
and he would, you know, if that was ran at a normal pace, he probably would have been a little bit too keen. He might well be on fumes there, but he's travelled so well in the early middle part of the race to hold the position. I think that was key. A few times, you'd probably get a different result each time.
Would, yeah. I'd definitely give him a go at 5. I think
he's not short of speed, is he?
He certainly isn't. There he is in the winner's enclosure, not unsupported. Dashing Harry, son of Harry Angel, and he was 11-2. Hierarchy, one of the co-favourites at 5-1. Big R was 11-2. Other co-favourites are Laguna Boy 10th, and Tronido, who finished 8th, 1:12.43 the time. 0.93 above the Racing Post standard. There was a good time on the card from New Kings Road and from Detain, the 2-year-old, who was very impressive, the one I'll take out of the card this evening.